Tesla's 2019 sales hit goals rise over 50% from previous year. In this Saturday, February 9, 2019, February 9th, 2019 file photograph, a sign bearing the company logo, stands outside a Tesla store in Cherry Creek Mall in Denver. Federal investigators have found that a 2018 crash and fire in Florida that killed the teenage driver of a Tesla Model S and a passenger was due to the car traveling at over 100 miles per hour on a curve. The National Transportation Safety Board says in a report released Thursday, December 19, 2019, that the battery-powered car erupted in flames after colliding with a wall. The two 18-year-olds were trapped in the car. In this Saturday, February 9th, 2019, file photo, a sign bearing the company logo stands outside Tesla store in Cherry Creek Mall in Denver. Federal investigators have found that a 2018 crash and fire in Florida that killed the teenage driver of a Tesla Model S and a passenger was due to a car traveling at over 100 miles per hour on a curve. The National Transportation Safety Board says in a report released Thursday, December 19, 2019, that the battery-powered car erupted in flames after colliding with a wall. The two 18-year-olds were trapped in the car. Tesla's global deliveries rose more than 50% last year, meaning the company surpassed the low end of its sales goals for 2019. Tesla's global deliveries rose more than 15% last year, meaning the company surpassed the low end of its sales goals for 2019. The electric car maker delivered a record of about 112,000 vehicles in the fourth quarter and about 367,500 for the full year. The electric car maker delivered a record of about 112,000 vehicles in the fourth quarter and about 367,500 for the full year. Tesla, based in Palo Alto, California, had earlier projected deliveries of between 360,000 and 400,000 units worldwide last year. Tesla, based in Palo Alto, California, had earlier projected deliveries of between 360,000 and 400,000 units worldwide last year. Shares of Tesla Inc. rose nearly 2% in pre-market trading Friday to 438.44. If that trend holds, the company's stock will hit an all-time high Friday. The lower-cost Model 3 accounted for 83% of the company's fourth quarter sales at 92,550. The higher-priced Model S sedan and Model X large SUV made up the rest. The low-cost Model 3 accounted for 83% of the company's fourth quarter sales at 92,550. The higher-priced Model S sedan and Model X large SUV made up the rest. The sales increases should abide should abide should abide
bold,
should abide well for Tesla's fourth quarter and full-year earnings next month. The sales increase should bode well for Tesla's fourth quarter and full-year earnings next month, but the company issued a note of caution Friday, says that while sales figures are slightly conservative, they could vary by 0.5% or more when final numbers are out. But the company issued a note of caution Friday, saying that while sales figures are slightly conservative, they could vary by 0.5% or more when finally numbers are out. Vehicle deliveries represent only one measure of the company's financial performance and should not be relied on as an indicator of quarterly financial results, without depending on a variety of factors, including cost of sales, foreign currency fluctuations, and the mix of leased versus sold vehicle, Tesla said. Vehicle deliveries represent only one measure of the company's financial performance and should not be relied on an indicator of quarterly financial results, which depend on a variety of factors, including cost of sales, foreign currency fluctuations, and the mix of leased versus sold vehicle, Tesla said. In the third quarter, Tesla posted a surprising $143 million profit, raising hopes that the company, which also makes solar panels and battery storage units, could finally be turning the corner to profitability. In the third quarter, Tesla posted a surprising $143 million profit, raising hopes that the company, which also makes solar panels and battery storage units, could finally be turning the corner to profitability. Tesla has posted mostly losses during its first decade as a publicly held company, and it lost $1.1 billion during the first half of last year. Tesla has posted mostly losses during its first decade as a publicly held company, and it lost $1.1 billion during the first half of last year. Tesla's new factory in Shanghai, China produced just under 1,000 cars for sale, and has deliveries have started in the world's largest car market, the company said in a prepared statement. Tesla broke ground on the factory less than a year ago and expects to produce more than 3,000 vehicles per week there. Tesla's new factory in Shanghai, China, produced just under 1,000 cars for sale and has deliveries have started in the world's largest car market, the company said in a prepared statement. Tesla broke ground on the factory less than a year ago and expects to produce more than 3,000 vehicles per week there. Canaccord analyst Jed Dorshemer, in a note to investors earlier this week, wrote that China will play a critical role in Tesla's growth, while Tesla has faced its share of financial worries. Thus believe those concerns will be muted this year. Researchers develop new open source system to manage and share complex data sets. Researchers develop new open source system to manage and share complex data sets. Researchers have created a new open source data management system for scientists with the hope that the system might make collaboration easier. Credit Mark Suspects on Splash. Data is often at the heart of science. Researchers track velocities, measure light coming from stars, and analyze heart rates and cholesterol levels and scan the human brain for electrical impulses. Data is often at the heart of science. Researchers track velocities, measure light coming from stars, analyze heart rates and cholesterol levels, and scan the human brain for electrical impulses, but often sharing that data with other scientists or with peer-reviewed journal editors or founders is difficult. The software might be proprietary and prohibitively expensive to purchase. It might take years to training for a person to be able to manage the understand the software, or the company that created the software might have gone out of business. But often sharing that data with other scientists or with peer-reviewed journal editors or founders is difficult. The software might be proprietary and prohibitively expensive to purchase. It might take years of training for a person to be able to manage and understand the software, or the company that created the software might have gone out of business. A research team have developed open source data management system that the scientists hope will solve all of those problems. The researchers outlined their system today in the journal PLOS1. A research team has developed an open source data management system that the scientists hope will solve all of those problems. The researchers outlined their system today in the journal PLOS One. We wanted to create a file format and a data set model that would encapsulate the majority of data sets we work on all the instruments in the lab, said Phillips Grandinetti, professor of chemistry at Ohio State University and senior author of the paper. There's this long-standing problem pervasive among scientists that you buy a multi-million-dollar instrument and the companies that make that instrument have their own proprietary format, and it's a nightmare to share with anyone else. We wanted to create a file format and the dataset model that would encapsulate the majority of datasets we work on all the instruments in the lab, said Phillips Grandinetti, professor of chemistry at Ohio State University and a senior author of the paper. There's this long-standing problem, pervasive among scientists that buy a multi-million-dollar instrument and the companies that make that instrument have their own proprietary format, and it's nightmare to share with anyone else. Large data sets are tricky to share, in part because of software is often proprietary, but also in part because the files are often so large that they are hard to share in an email or through a cloud-based server. And even if the files can be exported as a file type that can be shared, important metadata, the things that explain what the dataset actually is, are often lost. Their system, which Grandinet and colleges named the Core Scientific Data Model, is designed to share complex datasets easily, without massive files that take up a lot of bandwidth and hard drive space, and without losing metadata. Consider a dataset that includes air temperature, air pressure, wind velocity, and solar flux. This system can handle it. Or consider the measurements and the color of a light coming from a star in a distant galaxy. This system can handle it. Their system, which Grandinet and colleges named the Core Scientific Data Model, is designed to share complex datasets easily without massive files and that take up a lot of bandwidth and hard drive space, and without losing metadata. Consider a dataset that includes air temperature, air pressure, wind velocity, and solar flux. This system can handle it. Or consider the measurements and the color of a light coming from a star in a distant galaxy. This system can handle it. You need a dataset that is incredibly flexible in its ability to hold all those things in one file format without losing information. Guarantee said. So the idea is we created a model that we thought was flexible enough to do that. You need a dataset that is incredibly flexible in its ability to hold all those things in one file format without losing information, Grandinet said. So the idea is to create a model that we thought was flexible enough to do that. You need a dataset that is incredibly flexible in its ability to hold those things in one file format without losing information, Grandinet said. So the idea is we created a model that we thought was flexible enough to do that. The Ohio State University team, in a collaboration with Professor Thomas Wecht at the University of Airbus in Denmark and Dr. Dominique Massot at the University of Orleans in France, built software that can run a macro or PC. They uploaded it to the web and made the code open source. The publication in PLOS ONE is intentional. The journal is also available to anybody, free of charge, and the researchers hope the system could be a simple, free way to combine multiple types of data into one place. We study the Ohio State University team, in collaboration with Professor Thomas Wecht at the University of Ohio in Denmark and Dr. Dominique Massot at the University of Orleans in France, built software that can run on a micro or PC. They uploaded it to the web and made the code open source, meaning anyone can look at it, use it, and download it for free. The publication in PLOS ONE is intentional. The journal is also available to anyone free of charge, and the researcher hopes and the system could be a simple, free way to combine multiple types of data into one place. We study multiple datasets as a scientist myself. I'd like to be able to gather data from all those files and put them together in a way that I can work with, said Deepash Savitasa, a postdoctoral researcher in Granty Group. Instead of looking for data and plunking it from datasets, if we could simply export it as this one file type as a core scientific data file type, we'd be able to work in the common system. We study multiple datasets as scientists, and as a scientist myself, I'd like to be able to gather data from all these files, and put them together in a way that I can work with, said Deepash Srivastava, a postdoctoral researcher and the researcher hoped the system could be a simple, free way to combine multiple types of data into one place. Micro or PC, they uploaded into the web and made the code open source and download it free. The publications in +1 is intentional. The journal is also available to anyone free of charge. The Ohio State University team, in collaboration with Professor Thomas Weisgard at the University of Aarhus in Denmark and Dr. Dominique Maisok at the University of Orleans in France, built software that can run on a micro or PC. They uploaded it to the web and made the code open source. The publication in +1 is intentional. The journal is also available to anyone free of charge. You need a dataset that is incredibly flexible in its ability to hold all these things in one file format without losing information, Granted said. So the idea is we created a model that we thought was flexible enough to do that. Researchers develop new open source system. Declining renewable costs drive focus on energy storage. 3D print chocolates. Bespoke confectionery gas and innovation. People are too trusting of virtual assistant. Virtual